Okay, so I don't know how many of you all have ever had an experience with a horse. Actually, I think there's several in here that have. I've been obsessed with horses since I was 3. I've ridden horses since I was 6. So I've come across a lot of critters in my small amount of time so far. But about 2 years ago, I ran into one that has really enhanced the way that I look at a horse. Garth was emaciated, about 350 pounds underweight. My trainer and I rescued him. He was covered in mange. He had a very bully-like defensive attitude because of the way that he had been abused. He's very head shy. But my time with him has really made me realize how much I believe in the resilience of the equine spirit. Because when we first got him in, I mean, he wanted nothing to do with the people at the farm. He hated being ridden by most people. Coming in from his field to come in to eat his breakfast and his dinner, he would get away from us. Justine can attest to that. And he was just a rhinoceros. So he didn't really get along in the program at the farm that he was at. So I volunteered to bring him home. And my mom and I worked with him. We had him vetted. We fed him, got the weight on him, built muscle on him, and I got a wild hair and decided that I wanted to take him to a show. He'd never been a show horse before. He was an off-the-track thoroughbred, and fresh off the track, he went into the fox hunting field, which I don't know if any of you all know quite the test that is on the animal, but it's a pretty rough place for horses. So taking him into that show ring was a big deal. And the first show was actually at the Bridgewater Equestrian Center. It was just their spring classic. And he actually ended up getting some pretty good ribbons at that show. So I kind of made it my goal to make him my show horse that year and ride him in the Swaja Medal Final. Our first year together, throughout that whole show season, he actually became somewhat unstoppable, which was crazy. He would go up against horses from private colleges, private high schools, big colleges, and would stomp them out, basically. He was pretty awesome. So when I took him to that medal final, we ended up getting 3rd place, which the placing didn't even matter to me. The fact that this horse made that journey and he had gone from the rhinoceros that he was into being completely confident in himself and believing in both of us, you know, it was incredible. And I mean, the horse was in a victory gallop, for God's sake. Like, it's insane. It makes me emotional every time I think about it. But I mean, and not to mention last year, I was incredibly busy, and we only went to like 5 shows, but he was the top horse or the second to top horse in 4 out of those 5 shows. And he was 10th in a $1,000 Invitational Classic and 3rd in a Hunter Derby at the end of last year. And I mean, just this horse's development, he's so proud of himself, and he's so proud to have given people a second chance, to have given me a second chance, despite everything that he went through. And I mean, the whole experience has just proven to me that these animals are incredible, they're resilient, and I mean, given a second chance, they're going to come through for you, more than likely. I don't think it just applies to him. I think it could be any horse that would do this for their person, and I just love them so much.